Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial using drugstore makeup. So to get started, I learned the best way to do this would be to put on your eye makeup first, then apply your foundation. So that way if you get any thing on your face here, then you can cover it up easily without having to restart all over again. So far I have prepped my face with the Dickinson's facial toner, which helps clear my skin and it keeps it nice and clean, so that way when I'm applying makeup I have the cleanest, freshest face. So like I said, this is all drugstore stuff. I am using one item that is not drugstore because I don't own any non-drugstore brow. So the brow that I'm using is from Benefit. I will describe all the things that I'm using and later leave a description down below of all the items that I did use today. So first off, I'm starting off with the L'Oreal Infallibles. These things are amazing. They have beautiful pigment and also don't crease, which is super important when you're putting on a cream shadow. So this one here is called Amber Rush, and that is my darker shade that I'll be using today. And I'm going to just apply this with my finger. I find that using my finger works best. And I just dab it all kind of over the lid area. This is a very beautiful coppery shade, and I find it works, copper shades, if you have blue eyes, works really well and makes them pop. I have used other cream shadows in the past, and I tend not to like them and always come back to the Infallibles. Problem is when you apply them, like within an hour or so of time, they end up dissipating and going into the crease of your eye, and it's just not a cute look. So got that all on there, and then next I will be using from their line Internal Sunshine. It is a pretty just shimmery gold. I have another one of these since I use it so much, and this would be what I'm also going to be using this Infallible for my highlighter. I learned from a couple ladies that using these as a highlighter work really well, and I tried it and it does. So, but first I am going to apply that towards the inner tear duct of my eye and just working it about halfway into my lid. This just helps brighten your eye and help give it a little dimension from colors. Done with that there. So now I'm moving on to my eyeliner, and I'm using a cream liner today, and this is by Maybelline New York Eye Studio, and this is in the shade Espresso. So this is a brown shade, comes in a little pot, and that's that there, and it comes with a little application brush with a fine tip. But before I apply this, I have a little trick. It is a good hack. If you want to create a clean, seamless eyeliner, you just simply use tape, and just from the corner of your eye to the side of your brow, so the very corner up to the side of your brow, just make sure you angle it. Just dab that on there on both sides, and this helps just give you the perfect angle and make it nice and clean all at the same time. So also I use this for when I do smoky eyes, because that way I don't get any of the powder coming off onto my eye. So I think I got that on there. Good. So then I just take the pencil and just dip it all into this and coat the whole thing, and then you brush the excess off on the pot. So I use the point tip to where kind of the angle I want it at. That way I have the spot I want, and I just continue to reapply so I get a nice coverage. I do like this cream. I think it works quite well and has a decent consistency for a store brand. So with that, I fatten the line and draw it over, and then I'll fill that in to help give the wing tip effect. So if you are a beginner at this, I highly suggest this method. And you could do this with liquid, or I haven't done it with pencil, but I'm assuming that it would work well with a pencil as well. So I just go back in. And fill that spot. That's one side down. On to the next. So trying to keep it around the same area. I do that. And it looks bad, but I literally got some on the tape. So when you take that off, you won't see that at all. So if you're anyone like me who can't afford the high-end makeup, there is a lot of really good drugstore options. And sometimes I find that people find a lot of good dupes for the high-end stuff. Not saying that high-end stuff isn't like something to pass up, because if I could, I definitely would. But if you're on a budget like me, this is like works just almost as good. Okay, as far as I can see, we're good. I have a nice thin line over here. It's a little heavier on this side, so we might have to clean that up a bit. So without ado, take off the tape. And you get a really nice line there. This side might, oh, see, I got a big smudge that was right on there, but it ends up being all in the tape and not all over my eye. So this is why I use it. Ta-da! See, it ended up being better than I thought. So good. So when you have these cream shadows, it's really good to make sure you seal it very good, because they can dry out. And then when you're done, I just take a Kleenex and wipe off the excess. Right on there. So done with that step. So on to the next one, which I love, which is foundation. So as you can tell, I have very red pinky skin, and this helps cover it up really good. I find a lot of ladies tend to like this brand. It's by Maybelline, and it's called Fit Me. And mine is in the consistency Dewy Smooth. If you have dry skin like I do, then the Dewy gives you a nice glowy look. If you have very oily skin, then I suggest that you use the matte to help combat your oil. So this one doesn't have like a pump applicator on it, so I end up pouring it on my hand here and applying it to my skin with my brush. I used to apply foundation with my hand, and I promise you, if you have a tool of any sort, beauty blender or a, so be careful with your wing there, beauty blender or any brushes, that this is the way to go to apply your foundation. It's better for you that you're not using your hands all over your face to transfer any germs and bacteria, but you also get a more smooth and even finish. So already I can tell the difference from this. This is quite good coverage. So if you're looking for something for a little more high coverage, this is the way to go. Already, like a huge difference. The good thing about the Maybelline Fit is it's also extremely affordable. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go shopping, I tend to look for things at under $10 for sure. And foundation is one of those items that tends to really end up getting quite pricey. So this was half that. It was around the $5 range. So when I found it and it worked good, it made me extremely excited because it's one of the things I use just about every day. You have to use a decent amount of it, so you end up running out a lot of it. So to know that it's affordable, and if I run out, it's not going to break my bank, makes me feel great. And the shade that I'm using for my skin tone is the lighter shade. It is in, I believe, a beige color. And for normal, it's for oh yeah, nude beige. So that is the shade I'm using right now. Even though I do have fair skin, I do have some color to it, so I don't need the ivories. And to find your own shade, you just kind of have to know your undertones, if you're cool or warm, or if you have a yellow or pinkier base, on what shade you want to use. And for sure, during the seasons, your skin will change over time to be a shade darker or a shade lighter, depending on what season. So sometimes it's nice to have bronzer to help you out during the summertime, which I'll be using. So done with that there. Just going to wipe off my hand a little bit, get the excess off. So see, already nice and smooth and even consistency. Next, I will be going under my concealer just to cover up any spots. So the concealer that I have today is Almay Smart Shade, and it is in the shade Light. You always want to do a lighter shade for your concealer than your skin tone to help cover up any dark spots or blemishes that you may have. So I just apply this right underneath my eye and go all the way up, just to cover up any areas that I may want. So I just use, I use my little sponge. I don't have a beauty blender, which you can definitely use for this, but I find this working well because I can get under my eyes with this little triangle tip here. So don't wipe it in, dab it in. Because if you wipe it, it tends to wipe off all the product. So see how I can get it nice looped under my eye without getting it all on my eye and ruining my eye makeup and my wing liner. So just dab, dab, blend, 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 blend away. Now, if you live in a really hot area and you don't want to use a heavy foundation, you can definitely use BB or CC creams. These things help with being a lighter coverage and more lightweight for your skin. So that way you get some coverage, but you're not heavily putting stuff on you. So I dabbed that all in. And now it is time to set it with my powder. So the powder that I have is Rimmel Stay Matte. Now it's really hard to read the writing on it. It's all smudged off. So, but it's Rimmel Stay Matte. And I'm not, oh, I'm sure it's on the back there. Yeah, it's in shade 003 for natural. It's quite light, but that's okay because I use it to set and highlight my eye area. I dab it around my nose where I tend to get pinky, and under my eyes to set that concealer. And just up in my T-zone. And your T-zone would be like your chin, your nose, and your right over your forehead area right here. Alright, done with that. Next step, I'm going to move on to my brows. And like I had said, this is the only non-drugstore brand that I do have. So it's the one that I won't be using. So it is Gimmie Brow. I got this in my Birchbox. So like I said, I don't own any brow things that are drugstore, so I apologize on that. I'm sure there's plenty of good ones. I believe NYX makes a really good brow pencil, so maybe sometime when I run out of this stuff I will try that. So this has a nice small applicator brush and just has the product right on there, and you just lightly blend it into your actual brow, and it kind of helps just make your brows pop. I'll show you the difference between the one side and the other. Oops. And then when you do that, you just kind of smudge it off. It's okay. But this stuff is really great. And it makes my job a lot easier when I'm getting ready. And then I just take a spoolie. These are great for your brows to just help brush them into place and make things go where you want them to. So, one side to the other side really helps make them pop. Quickly do my other side. Now, if you have very light brows, this makes the world of difference, especially when you're applying a nice eyeshadowed eye. Just helps make your eye area pop. Because they always say your brows frame your face, and they really do. And I do not claim to be any expert, but I am an enthusiast on makeup. So, and I've learned some tips and tricks along the way, so I'm definitely better than I was. So, again, with a spoolie, just brushing everything to tame it. And there. Oh, I forgot to get out of my thing. I was trying to get everything out of my little box of stuff really quick. So just to highlight underneath my eye, I don't have a brow pencil, but I do have from City Pro NYC company, just a white shadow crayon, and I just use this along my brow. This will help clean up my line and add a little highlight underneath my eye, or my eyebrow. Then I also just kind of pop it into my corners. And just to help blend it out, I just use my finger and kind of smooth it on out. There. Next, I am going to apply my bronzer. I also use Rimmel's Natural Bronzer. It has a pretty shimmery sheen to it. And I take my fluffy brush and whirl it in there. Now, you want to get wherever you want like a definition line. So if you suck in, you kind of want to get right where that line is, right below your cheekbone. And even though I want to make it prominent, I don't want to go too heavily on it because then you look a bit of a mess. So just blend it out. Just make sure you blend it. And this will help give me color. I also do it on my jawline and up here on my forehead. So kind of like a 3. So just picture like a 3 line. 3. But the other day someone asked if I had been tanning around in the sun. I was like, nope, I just fake it with my bronzer. And also to contour my nose a little bit, I put a little bit on a small brush and just bring that product down. Okay. And next I'm going to go into my blush. It is a beautiful shade of blush. It's from CoverGirl called True Blend Blush. There it is there. It's a baked blush. So I take my blush brush and just whirl that on there and put it at the apple of my cheeks and bring that on up. I find it helps if you smile while you do this part, so I suggest you smile. It also helps you look pretty when you smile. Alright, bringing that on up. Good there. And next I'll go over to my gold shade of the Infallibles again, and I'll use this for highlighter, and I'm going to use my highlighter brush. So I just swirl that into the pot and get right above where I put my blush, so right on my upper cheekbone. And I feel you can't get enough highlighter. That stuff is amazing and makes your face glow. So your preference, whether you want to go light or heavy on this. I do apologize if the lighting isn't the best. I yet to have a good item to film on, so I just been using my tablet. So I also applied my highlighter to my nose and the tip of your nose, right along the bridge line, just a little bit from there. This is called your Cupid's bow, right above your lip, and right around on my chin. So next, almost done, I'm just going to apply a little bit of my darker amber rush underneath my eye. This is good, and it makes it lighter than using your eyeliner to highlight your lower eye, is using your eyeshadows, whether it be cream or powder. You can use that both underneath your eye, and it helps it settle, and it's gentler on my eyes. If you have sensitive skin, it works really good for this. And this will just kind of help give me a pop of color right underneath my eye. Alright, highlighter, brush, bronzer. We're on the home stretch. Lastly, I will be doing my eyelashes. So I'm using Maybelline Illegal Length mascara. This happens to be one of my favorites. I love the skinny wand. It helps get all the eyelashes and separates them. I did used to get it in dark brown because since I have lighter complexion, red hair, dark brown is a good color to use. But seriously, I can't find it anywhere anymore. So I'm on black, and black is fine, but look at this nice, long, skinny brush. It really helps get in there. So with mascara, I like to just do a once over real quick with my eyelashes. Try to get every little bit before I dip it back into the product, and then I kind of shake along the line there on my lower lash. And I find it useful to close your eye when you're applying this. Bring y'all close in. And it's good to use like the very tip to try to get your top bits and all your little baby lashes that are kind of hiding in there. Oops. There. On the other side. Oh, and then I got to do a lip. I got everything for my face and completely forgot to pick out a Drugstore brand lip. I'll probably just use my favorite one, so that'll work good. So same thing to this side. And I like to wait a minute before I apply any mascara to my lower lash. Since you have to look up while you're doing it, you tend to get your tips touching your beautiful work that you did on your eyeshadow, and then you have a tough time trying to get your mascara off your eyeshadow without completely ruining your eyeshadow. So I definitely wait a minute. Okay, so while we're waiting that to dry a little bit before we apply it to my bottom, I have these NYX Mega Shine lip glosses. I first learned NYX by this lip gloss that I ordered off of Amazon and fell in love with it. It's creamy, it smells good, it's got cute packaging, and the applicator brush is awesome. It's got a cute little, can you see that? A little bow on it. And the wand has a nice angle. So, and this is a beautiful shade. It is in beige, so it's a beautiful pinky mauve shade. There, it's like my favorite just natural neutral shade that gives it yourself a little pop. So now that my eyes have dried a little bit, I'll just go back in with my Maybelline Illegal Length, and I try to wipe off a decent amount of product so I don't clump it all on there. So if you just kind of shake along your line, and you can also use the tip of it to kind of just brush along and pick up all the little baby lashes. There we go. Look when you're putting back into the case so you don't get it all over your thumb. Wipe that off. Alright, but I am pretty much sure I'm done. I've used all my products. Bring it in so you get a better look. There it is. So you can achieve a nice, natural, beautiful look by using drugstore items. Hope you like it. I will list the things and products that I use down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't already, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.